The elites in this world are in the business of keeping you poor. In this video, I'm gonna give you various examples and describe how they profit off of you staying poor for the rest of your life. They literally profit off of your generational poverty. So I haven't been rolling intros lately, so let's just get into it. Let's talk about how banks actually make money, right? So let's say you give the bank $10,000. I would say, let's do a guess. $8,000 out of that 10,000 is going to be, invested out into loans, right? Loans for other people. So another person comes into the bank, right? A second person, they ask for a $5,000 loan, a $10,000 loan for a car, right? So your money that you just placed in the bank in your account is being lended to them at an interest rate. So now the bank is just pocketing that, right? And if you miss your payments, what happens? You get late fees, interest fees, and then the banks make even more money. This is why, you know, credit scores exist. Credit scores exist for a lot of reasons. For the wealthy to get wealthier and for the poor to get poorer. That's literally how they work. This is why you got to master the credit system in order to increase your wealth and to self improve in life, right? But when you have a low credit score and you go to the bank and you ask for a loan, now you getting outrageous interest rates. You getting 19% interest rate. My first car I bought from an actual dealership, which was CarMax. I ain't gonna lie, they head cracked me. I got a Ford Focus. It was a 2018 Ford Focus blue, right? And I remember I had an 18% interest rate. I was just happy to have a car, right? And then I realized, all right, this car is like $22,000, and 18% of that's an extra couple $1,000 I am giving them for no reason really. They're not gonna fix the car if it's messed up. The car, as soon as I drive it off the lot, it automatically loses $5,000 to $10,000 of worth. You could literally buy a car, you know, drive it off the lot and then sell it, and you won't be able to sell it for nowhere near the same price. Literally within a 2 hour span. You get what I'm saying? But back to the elites being in the business of making you poor. These interest rates fund the banks and help them grow their wealth. So the elites pocket the wealth. So you being poor is putting more money in, their pockets. This is why the gap between the rich and the poor is just growing wider, especially in places like America, first world countries, America, the UK, Canada, places like that. Capitalism, right? Even if they not might not be a capitalist society, they still are ruled by capitalism in a lot of ways. You get what I'm saying? So that's the first way these people, the elites, are in the business of keeping you poor. Let's continue. Let's talk about how they actually keep you poor. So of course I'm from Brooklyn, New York, as a lot of my subscribers know. I grew up very poor. So I'm gonna bring up my mother in this one. She's like the stereotypical person that they want in this world when it comes down to black women, right? My mother, she don't really understand. I'm not trying to be mean to my mother. I love my mother, but these are life lessons that I'm talking about in this video. So hope you guys get something from it, because I'm about to say a lot of shit. So my mother, she don't really understand the world a lot. She kind of got like a disability, mentally. She's not stupid. I'm not saying that on the internet. That's weird. But she just has a disability, right? So she don't really understand the credit system, the banking system. So she lives life simply to survive. She gets her SSI check from the government, right? SSI, she gets about 800 a month. They help her subsidize her housing, which the worst housing you could possibly get, in America. She goes to the check cashier's place. For my people that didn't grow up poor, there's a place called the check cashers. It's different from a bank. What they do is just cash checks. If you bring a check for $800, they cash it. They give you $800 in cash. That way, you're not accumulating wealth. One of the biggest ways of accumulating wealth is the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. When you invest in something and then it pays you some interest, and then you start making money off of that interest, and it's a ripple effect, right? The elites know this. This is like one of the main ways they build their wealth. So in order to stop you from doing that, they keep you from even having bank accounts. They know that You're gonna go to the check cashier's place and cash your check. So now you got a bunch of cash. You think you got money. You think you're doing something, but you're really not. And then what they do for urban neighborhoods for black people, they'll put a bunch of nonsense in our neighborhood. So they'll put some designer stores. So that's why if you go to Tilden Projects in Brooklyn, New York, shout out my people from Brooklyn, that's my subscribers, right? Go to Tilden Projects. You'll see a fried chicken spot, a Chinese food spot, another fried chicken spot, liquor store, sneaker store, check cashier's place, corner store that sells all of that, fried chicken, grocery goods, all of that, right? Another liquor store, another shoe store. So now our entire environment is, built with distraction. And then around the corner is a strip club and it'd be a bunch of prostitutes and stuff over there. Our entire environment is nothing but distractions and bullcrap. There's not no libraries over there. There's not no nothing for you to learn, for you to build generational wealth. They know that a lot of my people are gonna get their check, whether it's from their job or from the government, cash their check, go buy some liquor, probably buy a pair of shoes, and then they're gonna be broke again. The cycle repeats, right? And this is how people move for their entire lifetimes. They make money off of that itself. So there's a lot of ways that the wealthy profits off of you being poor. This is why you gotta learn as much as possible about the world. Get your credit right. Invest in a lot of different things. You got high yield savings account. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of advice, something I've been doing. High yield savings account. You can get up to 7, 8, 9% returns a year. So if you put, let's say if you put 10,000 in, you'll get 9% of that. What's 9% or 10% of 10,000? That's 1,000, right? Or 900, right? For 9%. So, as that money start to build and inflation happens, your money is keeping up with inflation, right? And once you get to the point where you got, 30,000, 100K, that little 9%, it seems like a little bit, but then it start to grow thousands and thousands of dollars a year. This is how the wealthy stay wealthy. This is how the wealthy keep on getting more money. Let's say they got 150 million. What's 9% of 150 million? I don't know, but I know it's a bunch of more millions of dollars on top of, every year. It's just more money. It's like making money. It's like magic almost. You get it? So high yield savings account, you like the S&P 500, which I haven't invested in yet, but I've been looking at a few, the QQQM. That's one of the S&P 500s, and that basically you're investing in like the top 500, top 100, whatever stocks in the country. So that way you're not just investing in one stock. Let's say you invest in one company, Apple. What if Apple goes bankrupt? What if Apple, people stop buying their products start being trash, which they are been trash lately. So people stop buying their products, their stock value go down. Now all that money you spent on Apple is lost, right? But if you invest in the S&P 500, it's more of a safe bet, because yes, you invested in Apple, but you also got stocks in Microsoft, in Tesla, in all the top 500 companies in the country. The elites are in business and keeping you poor. Keeping you poor, it keeps you in a rat race. You're so worried about survival that you're not really asking questions that matter in society. Why is it like this? How can we change this? You can't worry about that when you're just strictly surviving. And that's one thing that Gen Z is starting to realize. And they're trying to break the habit of that. They're trying to break the cycle, right? And I agree with Gen Z when it comes down to that. They really are in business in keeping you poor. But as long as you learn, my grandmother used to always say, they can't take knowledge from you. Once you learn something, you know it. You could apply it to your life, right? So this is a short video. If you want me to make another video like this and go more in depth on this topic, maybe talk about more investments I'm making. I'm a brand new investor. I've only been investing for about a year now. But follow me on Instagram. Like this video for more content. Peace.